We are now on Act 3 of the Twilight Flood, Part 20, Chaos Protocol, 30th of the Astral Moon. Let us start the day. Chaos Protocol sounds intense. It looks like Melli's back! And we got an achievement called Boom. Innkeeper! Surprise! Nice to see that you're back. Is Fable with you? No. Should they be? They were looking for you. They aren't a very good detective then. I'm happy to see you're well, Melli. Everyone was very worried about you. Why? I'm great at taking care of myself. You are, but where have you been all this time? Investigating things, obviously, like the flood. My investigation led me to Morlia. Or more like, they did. Nico, Voy, and Hex, I mean. I followed them to Morlia. They were talking about mysteries and puzzles, and I'm trying to solve a mystery, so I couldn't let the opportunity pass me by. You're lucky. People usually pay a lot of money to spend time with me. I love Voy. Why? Because I'm, like, famous. But I didn't go there because of you. I was following clues. Okay. I stayed outside. My case isn't about a wizard. Not this time. Where's Hex, anyway? You know, doing wizard things. Like arson. That would have been fun, but instead he chose to study. He immediately wanted to check out the spells we found. Though he seemed pretty disheartened. How come? Not sure. I guess he didn't find what he was looking for. Maybe because the world's greatest treasure was already traveling with him. Little heart. What would that be? Me! Never mind. He told us to keep an eye out for any time magic razzle-dazzle. But we found nothing. At least he managed to get inside and return safely. Yeah. The way there was easy peasy. We got there thanks to Nico pulling off a shape-shifting trick and pretending to be a merchant. Stole some guy's coat and face, and used his reputation to secure us a boat ride to Morlia. Said I wanted to meet with a real estate agent from the Magocracy to buy the island. I told them to pick us up in a week or so. By then, we'd be far gone. What happened once you reached the island? A burning tower happened. What? It was an accident. It was fun. It was like fireworks. He must have stored some magnesiums in the attic. Smart of you to give Hex some fire resistance, else that son of a gun would have gone up in flames. Jesus Christ. Let's start at the beginning. Fireballs taste better with a dramatic setup. You're right, I should have eaten the fireball. That's not inspiring as usual, Voyo. Thanks. Before you continue, I'm kind of thirsty. Can I have a drink? Something that tastes like smartness and wisdom. Gotcha. I love Melli, I love Voy. Everybody's so great. Such a wonderful cast of characters. We get to make my favorite drink again, the Sparkling Nebula. Yeah. So, 3 points of intellect. 1, 2, 3. And do a little scritchy scritch. Little pets. Have some charisma. And Sparkling Nebula. Ta-da! This is great! You're really good at picking up clues. Okay, so, picture this. We got to Morlia, an island so small it's basically the tower's wild backyard. As I walked between the crystalline roses, I expected to see a secret passageway hiding behind every corner. I almost brought you back a rose. Why didn't you? I thought you wouldn't like it. I would have. Oh, okay. That's, moving on. The tower itself reached so high I thought it might be reaching out to kiss the moon itself. It was really tilted, at about a 5-degree angle. I measured it with my paws. The bricks are still wet. I'm sure the tsunami shook its foundation. Would think the waves would have done us a favor and knocked down the door, but nope. That locked door was the first challenge. Iniko's lockpicks broke. Seemed like a skill issue. Bro. Broke? Skill issue? Bro, the door ate my lockpicks. Ah, door mimic, a classic first step to securing your establishment. You talk like you've seen one before. Have you ever tried to open my door when the inn's closed? No? If you do, don't use any lockpicks and take care of your fingertips. So, how did you get inside? Brute force. Together we were able to pull the door up enough to break it off its hinges. Together? You didn't really do much of anything, man. Just told us, you can do it, guys, while hiding behind a bush. It worked, didn't it? Anyways, they crashed through and landed on their faces. Swoosh! An axe flew past our heads. Cursed traps. I walked in after them and immediately slipped on the wet floor. But no show is ever lost due to a faux pas. It merely makes you more sympathetic to the audience. Except for the lock. I believe I lost its sympathy completely. Should have played it a song instead. Maybe next time, boyo. After Hex figured out how to time getting past that swinging axe, we explored the tower. It was so much taller and bigger on the inside. Like a pocket dimension. So freaking cool. Except a tower can't really fit in your pocket. Bet. Hex walked ahead. Guy was really distracted. He didn't even listen to my poem about the symbiotic relationship between axe and door. For a long time we didn't encounter anything. Just a long hallway. No doors, only a bunch of strange paintings. Of course, most hallways can't go on forever, so eventually we reached a staircase. After what felt like 5.5 minutes, eternity. Meanwhile, I was outside investigating the flora and fauna. Everything was very peculiar, like it was all from another world. The colors were different, very blue and almost spectral. And there was a lot of spider webs. Or yarn? Not sure which. Suddenly, the ground shook and almost knocked me off my feet. Who could have guessed there were pressure plates on those stairs? When I stood up on my tiptoes to cut off a golden cord that would have made for a great belt, I stepped on a pressure plate and triggered an explosion, and clunk, the whole staircase began crumbling down into a pit of nothingness. Bit by bit, starting from the bottom, I rushed upwards to safety, away from the weird wizard abyss. But Hex stumbled backwards as the ground gave way beneath him. I grabbed his hand just before he fell, but I'm not as strong as I look. My muscles, along with the courage in my heart, were failing us. Suddenly, I felt a pull on my collar, and someone dragged us up the stairs, away from our certain doom. You know, I was thinking about what else might have been waiting up there. And going at it alone, I could have gotten lost. Thank you for saving us, Nico. No problem, boy. Don't get used to it. Didn't you expect a trap like that? After all, a great wizard would want to protect our treasure. I guess we were a little distracted by all the gold hanging from the walls. The staircase ended in a wondrous library that spiraled endlessly higher around the tower's inside walls. We lost Hex at the bottom, in the first row of books. A lot of them were drenched. Didn't seem like the tower was waterproof. There was still primordial water dripping from somewhere above. We couldn't make out the ceiling, tried to reach it though. The second story of the spiral staircase library had 3 paths leading away. Each path ended in a door, and all 3 doors were closed, and marked, with runes, or paintings, or rusty old locks. I called for Hex, and like 10 minutes went by without a response. So we started looking around. But there were just books, and spell scrolls. Don't forget about the scroll in the glass cabinet. That one looked fun. Hairball. Pause, I need water. Okay. Talking too much there. I knew Hex was looking for spells, so I called him again. As soon as I mentioned an oddly floating scroll, he came sprinting upwards, staring at the glass case. He already had another scroll tucked into his coat. Honestly, I was expecting him to be carrying half the library at that point, but I guess that would have been too heavy for him. Melli looks annoyed. You don't hydrate more, FYI. Yeah, you're right. I should hydrate more, especially with how much we yap on this one. There's so much talking. Actually, I wish I had some tea. Of course, the stupid glass case was also a puzzle. Had no lock, no lid, no nothing, just glass and a gold frame. The scroll itself was glowing, a promising blue. I suggested breaking the glass. Hex gave me his finest death glare. So, he investigated the puzzle himself. While they were doing boring side quests, I made sure to stuff my pockets. Found a jeweled silver paperweight shaped like a bird that'll make for a great blunt weapon. That's kind of random. Hex was too scared we'd destroy the scroll by triggering another contraption, so he suggested we look around in the adjacent rooms. The riddle doors. Riddle doors that Hex quickly figured out. Sure, a few books got burned, but it was nothing compared to what could have happened. I still don't get what he was talking about. Me neither, to be honest, but we aren't the brains of the operation, so speak for yourself, pretty boy. Boy liked being called pretty. I think the puzzle had to do with some of the books in the library, and pulling on them in the right order or something to unlock the compartments that held the passwords to get into the rooms. And we had to do that for each door. It was so lame. It was kind of exciting, seeing Hex hop up and down the stairs looking for the right books. First password was password. The second password was passwords past the password. And the third one was passwords past the password's password? You wish, but no. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's what Sir Lost It Wizard made us skim the whole library for. One of the rooms was an alchemy lab. Another was a study full of crazy inventions and books. And the third one was a gym. A gym? Yep. As soon as we had opened all the doors, the whole tower began to shake and rumble again. I believe now it's your turn to tell the story, Melli. Of course. Snooping through the garden, I found a weirdly shaped stone. It was glistening in the sunlight and caught my attention. I picked it up to investigate it further and sort of didn't see the rope attached to it. As if I had pulled out some hidden support beam, the whole tower began to rumble. Carefully, I put the shiny stone back, but nothing changed. The tower kept rumbling, like it was awakening from a deep slumber. You made us think we screwed up the riddle. Technically, we can't prove a correlation. You could have very well screwed up. Doesn't matter who screwed what up, mishaps make for better stories, I think. The whole tower started turning on its own axis, and the bricks were grinding against each other. Finally, something thrilling. It was as though all the traps were activated at the same time. Like a scalded cat, Hex rushed towards the wizard's study to grab as many papers as he could. The bookshelves in the library leaned forward and unhinged from the walls as they crashed downwards. Into the abyss, revealing a dark void behind them. Nightmarish creatures started crawling out of the void. They looked like bats made of stone. Wouldn't that just be gargoyles? They reminded me of my auntie's place. We tried to fight them off, but there were too many, even for me. The tower had turned into a living machine, trying its hardest to get rid of us. Had to retreat into the alchemy lab. Hex joined us last minute, pockets full of papers, that nerd. And he cast Fireball right at the monsters in front of us. Obviously, the library caught fire, and the ensuing shockwave sent us tumbling backwards. I knocked over a vial of shimmering red liquid that had set aside to taste test. With no windows in the room, we were trapped inside while the fire closed in on us. I felt the heat licking my skin and singeing my hair, and then that red shimmering liquid that I knocked over caught fire as well. It started building up pressure in the room like an overloaded valve. It was only a matter of time until we exploded into pieces. Hex screamed something to me about playing a note, the clearest one I'd ever played. I was confused. Thought he'd already succumbed to the fumes, but then Iniko reminded me. Ethereal bamboo. So I took my Hagum and put my fingers to the strings. With the physical pressure of an explosion combined with the mental pressure of having to do it right, he was darn nervous. Yep. Hex tried to keep the fire away from us, but it didn't react to any of his spells. It was straight up consuming them. So I took a page out of Voy's book and started yelling encouraging words at him. You weren't too bad at it, ish. It still took me 3 tries to hit the right note and rip open a portal to the ethereal weave. It was insane. Suddenly, time stood still. Everything was frozen over by an odd spectral blue shimmer, like the one on the plants. Just as we heard the sizzle of impending explosions, we were pulled into the rift I had just created. Whoosh! And we were swirling in a sea of blues and whites. Time was going by very slowly. Or not at all. We jumped off the tower. No walls could stop us anymore. Or so we thought, until one collapsed on top of us. Everything turned dark. We awoke on the north side of the island. Smoke was rising into the sky. The tower was in shambles. Oh, it sure was. After I put the stone back, it all happened so fast. The tower coiled around itself and started ascending into the sky. When suddenly, 3 explosions rattled the building. Boom! The tower was obliterated to pieces, blue and white lights flying into the air. Somewhere in the distance, 3 silhouettes fell from the sky. I snuck up to them and saw Iniko, Hex, and Voy lying in the sand. It was great to have a friendly face be the first thing we saw. Should have been our clue to relax, but my man Hex was committed to finding anything he could in the ashes. Didn't even say hello to me. And guess what he found? The crazy Ridley glass case. Not one scratch on it. The scroll was still floating in there, in perfect serenity. Hex took it. He said he'd figure out how to open it once we were back on the mainland. Couldn't really rescue much else of value. Except this peculiar little trinket. Thought it'd fit your tavern. We got a new goodie. Oh, how cute! It's like a little snow globe with a fire in it. I honestly have absolutely no clue. I borked that one. I honestly have absolutely no clue what it is. Looks like an orrery to me. What kind of berry? An orrery. They show different realms and how they're intertwined with each other. That's what it is. Preem. Some gears seem to be missing, though. Also, I have no clue which realm it's supposed to represent. Well, it's yours now. Cope. Why is he like this? Thanks. Other than that, the spell scroll in Hex's pocket made it out alive, too. Lucky nerd. He was so disappointed. Said he needed to take a breather. I continued investigating traces in the sand. A new set of footsteps had appeared. I thought perhaps the wizard had returned, but then I heard hushed voices. Someone was talking to Hex. Huh? Interesting. Did you travel as a group of 4 at all? I mean, 5? Nah. When I peeked around a tree, I just saw Hex sitting by the shore gazing far into the horizon. All by himself. Maybe it was just my imagination after all. When Hex finally graced us with his presence again, I was roasting marshmallows over the fire. They weren't the only thing that was on fire. Bud, you're making less sense than me. The marshmallows were delicious. But all the treasure was gone, except for what we had in our pockets. Though, figuring out that my Hagum could do that was the biggest treasure of the day. Yeah, that was so cool. That does sound very cool. Out of curiosity, how did you manage to get back? Jade saved us. We tried to recruit her, but the party pooper didn't have time. But she decided to follow up after her other quest was done. Bummer there wasn't any loot to share, but hey, at least we had a ride back. I'm sorry to hear you didn't get what you wanted. I mean, Nico and I had fun. I just think Hex was disappointed. He'll be okay. He's smart. He'll figure out whatever spell he needed from the wizard himself. I'm sure he will. Though, do you think the Magocracy will be upset we destroyed that very valuable treasure house? Dunno. Don't care. What a story. I can't wait to share it with Archie. I'll be on my way now. Character information unlocked for Voy. Where are you at, Voy? Here we go. Apparently his Hagyam also doubles as magical teleportation device, and it can open the ethereal weave. Luckily, he's safe as long as he plays the right notes. Slowly but steadily, he's getting over his stage fright, learning how to use his skills. I hope Grace and I get tickets to his next concert. Gotta check up on Hex and make sure he didn't accidentally take a book mimic home. That would be horrible. You coming with, Nico? Sure thing. So long, innkeeper. Goodbye, innkeeper. Don't miss me too much. I'll try not to. Character information for Hex. Hang on, Millie. Alright, so he even explored an abandoned wizard tower to look for lost or maybe forbidden spells. According to his accomplices, he was rather fixated on inspecting every piece of loot as if he was looking for something particular. A spell to protect his sister, maybe? They did say he sounded like he was looking for like a time spell. Maybe it's because she has a shorter lifespan. She got like the human half of the lifespan of like the half-elf thing. So maybe he's trying to like extend her lifespan so they live the same amount of time. Alright, now it's just you and me, innkeeper. Indeed. I'm glad you're back. You're making it sound like I was lost or kidnapped. I was just investigating. Without telling anyone? I don't need to tell anyone where I'm going. People care about you, Melli. They get worried if they don't know where you are. Oh. I'm not used to that. But I care about people too. Like you. And that's good to hear. I love Melli. Melli's so cute. Dave's back. Melli. Hi, Ara. Hi, Dave. Oh, that name is so outdated. You're back. I am. Did you miss me? Did I was just very worried. What? You called me Melli. What about it? You've never done that before. I'm sure I have. You even said you'd never call me Melli. I'm just glad you're back. Welcome back to my tavern, Dave. That's a cute one. Yeah, I got it on my latest quest. Dave, you made a good choice. You must always protect Melli. Melli's such a sweet being. I also went on a quest. Well, at first I wanted to find the moon swamps. You know, the mysterious magical swamp that is said to be magically hidden and only appears in foggy but starry nights. I'd heard they were somewhere in the moon swamp near the portal to Twilight Chasm. And did you find anything? No, I did find some weird way markers made of bones that seemed to lead somewhere. They had "Do Not Touch" written on them, and the paint even seemed fresh, so it looked like the perfect clue. But then, suddenly, there were just gallons of water everywhere. Luckily, I got away quick, and since I was already there, as Pessoa's best detective, it was my duty to discover the flood's origins. Well, at first I was more of a stowaway than a detective, and I also couldn't figure out why. Don't storm off like that ever again, you understand? I was so worried and no one knew anything about your whereabouts. Now. Oh, don't upset Melli. Why is she crying? You upset her. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have yelled at you like that. It's just, I haven't cared about anyone in so long. And with you and Fable both suddenly gone, I didn't know what to do. I thought you didn't care. After you went away, even though I asked you to be more careful, I thought maybe you didn't want to be my trusty assistant after all. So I went to investigate alone. I'm sorry for leaving. It's alright. I'm used to people leaving and not coming back. I do care, Melli. I'm just kind of new to this whole honesty thing. I'm kind of new to this whole empathy thing. Yeah, I figured. If you'd like, I could fix you up a drink to help you find your words again. Don't know if I'm up for trading another secret in exchange. It's on me today. You've got enough to worry about. So, let me see what I can do for you. We still don't know what happened to Fable. Haven't heard back from them in a while. Are we gonna do another Spoken Heart? Indeedly. So we're gonna do 3 points of charisma. 1 point of attack and 1 point of defense. Spoken Heart, coming right up. Enjoy your magical liquid eloquence. It doesn't taste half bad. This might actually help. So, your quest? Jade said you were stranded on Morlia? Yep, I followed 3 very suspicious-looking fellows and somehow ended up on that island. Why do I always run into wizards and magic when I'm out on adventures? And traps! Magical traps everywhere! Sounds very dangerous. A detective's always seeking thrills. I'll make sure to be careful, I promise. It's not about that. I know you know how to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't have solved the T-Rex case. Heh! But don't keep putting your own life at risk in exchange for a quick adventure. Jade told me the whole wizard tower burned down. It wasn't me, I promise. I didn't do anything. All I'm saying is, don't disappear again. Please? You're not alone anymore. You don't have to do everything all by yourself. Like you're one to talk. I think you've got a point, Melli. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't listen to him as well. You're both guilty. But you two have also made a lot of progress already. And I'm glad both of you made it back safely. Heard anything from Fable yet? No, not yet. What about Carolyn? She came back after the flood. Currently, she's investigating some undead sightings in the Pale Woods. Do you know when she'll be back? No, but the 2 of you can wait here for her if you want. Yes, please. I want to stay until Carolyn gets back. Alright, I'll keep you company. How about I spice up your wait with another drink? I'll pass. Oh, but I'd like one, please. Of course. Do you want anything specific? That whole adventure was pretty exhausting. Maybe something to combat my mental tiredness. Nothing easier than that. Are we gonna make another one of the pretty purple ones? Yes, we are. Sparkling Nebula. 3 points of intellect. And 2 points of charisma. Ding ding, order up. Let's see if this will make you wake up again. Oh, thank you. This is delicious. I can feel my synapses connecting. You know, now that I've had some time to think about it, I think I figured out why Hex was so bummed out about the loot. Care to share your insight with us? But of course! He has a younger sister, right? Which always struck me as odd. She looks so much older than him. So what if she just ages faster than he does? And he expected to find some very special loot in that wizard tower, but he didn't find it. So what if he was looking for something to extend her life? That's what I thought too. I'm also a great investigator detective. Like a scroll of immortality. What a foolish idea. Hey! Not you, Hex. Even if it's tempting, those are powers that no one should interfere with. I agree. What if she turns into a zombie? I've had enough of them. Definitely. We should tell him when we see him again. Or maybe we should tell Carolyn when she returns. She seems to be experienced in dealing with the undead. You think it'll be a long time before she gets back? I don't know. Could be very soon, but it could also take a few more days. You've had a long day. Aren't you tired, Melli? No. I'm not tired at all. Let's wait for a little bit longer. Maybe she'll show up. And Fable with her. Sounds good. I think it would be so silly if she just fell asleep on the table. Oh god, we're still here. Nope. Okay, maybe she went to bed. Did she fall asleep? Yeah. Called it. Maybe I should bring her home and wrap this up for tonight. That's a good idea. You should get some rest as well. I'll let you know if I hear anything about Carolyn. Or Fable. Alright. There's not much for me to do otherwise. It's so cute. Except care for Melli. She needs you. Yeah, I think you might be right. Good night, Dave. You know, Ah, forget about it. See ya. Character information unlocked for Melli. Melli is already a source of inspiration for a certain writer, maybe because she seems so independent. Though her latest adventure has taught her that she can't do everything alone, it's good to see that she allows herself to be a child again after everything, and I couldn't be more proud. It really kind of feels like we're wrapping everything up, like we're getting the end of everybody's, like the conclusions of everybody's stories. But, like, it also doesn't feel like we're anywhere near the end at the same time. It's so weird.